Hello, friends, and welcome to music. I hope you are ready to have a wonderful time today. Last week, we started listening to an instrumental version of Carol of the Bells. And this week, we are going to be talking about how we are going to perform our own instrumental version of Carol of the Bells. So let's go ahead and get started with today's lesson. Before we go on with our lesson, I would like to pause and take a look at our content objectives and our can-do language objectives for today. Our content objectives are to understand that household items can be made into instruments. We're going to discuss ideas on how to build a drum or a bell out of household items. If we have time, we will create our drum or bell, and we will play a rhythmic instrument along with a melody, which I have pre-recorded. Our language objectives for today are listening and speaking. For listening, I would like for you to follow my gestures. I would like for you to match the vocabulary words with images that I will show you. And I would like you to follow my instructions related to the project that we're doing. For speaking, you're going to be repeating some words in both English and Spanish, and you'll be answering some questions with full phrases. So let's move on to our lesson. So now we can talk about today's lesson. We're going to start by watching the video that I have created of Carol of the Bells. Then we are going to take a look at some new vocab words. We're going to define them, translate them, see pictures of them, and learn how to pronounce them. After that, we're going to learn how to create bells from household items. After that, we're going to learn how to create drums from household items. We will finish up by planning for next week's performance. And if we have time, we're going to choose an instrument, gather our materials, and practice playing the instrument along with the recording. So here we have our Carols of the Bells instrumental video. I hope you guys enjoy. Next, we're going to take a look at our vocabulary words. We have two words today. The first one is bell, and the second one is drum. So, a bell is a hollow object that is typically made out of metal, and has the shape of a deep inverted cup. It widens at the lip, and it sounds like a clear musical note when it's struck, typically by means of a clapper inside or by something hitting the outside. So now we are going to click the link and we are going to practice pronouncing the word bell in both English and Spanish. We're also going to take a look at a couple of pictures of different kinds of bells.
Now it is time for us to practice saying and pronouncing bell in English and Spanish. So let's listen to it in English.
Bell.
Very nice. Let's try again.
Bell.
Bell. This time everybody pronounce.
Bell.
Bell. Bell. Bell. Great job, everyone. Let's now listen to it in Spanish.
Campana.
One more time.
Campana.
Let's try to pronounce.
Campana.
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 Campana. One more time.
Campana.
Campana. Very nice, everybody.
Next, we have the word drum. Drum is a percussion instrument that is played by being struck with sticks or with your hands. It's typically a circular shape, and it could also be barrel-shaped or bowl-shaped. So we're going to click on the link and we're going to learn how to pronounce drum in both English and Spanish. And we'll also take a look at some pictures of different kinds of drums.
Here we have drum in English and Spanish. Let's learn how to pronunciate drum in English.
Drum.
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 Give it a try. Drum.
Drum.
Drum. One more time.
Drum.
Drum. And here we have it in Spanish.
Tambor.
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 Tambor. Give it a try, everyone.
Tambor.
Tambor. One more time.
Tambor.
Tambor. Great job, everyone. And right below, we can see lots of different kinds of drum sets that are there for us to see.
Okay, friends. Next, we are going to learn how we can create a bell out of some household items. The first idea that I had was to use a water bottle that is an insulated water bottle, so like a hydro flask or any kind of water bottle that has some metal in it, and a pencil or a plastic pencil or a pen. So right here, I have my hydro flask bottle. You can see there's a little water in it, but you can see that there's metal all around the edges and all in the center. So I think this is going to make a pretty nice bell. I'm going to take the top off of it and I'm going to pick up my plastic pencil. So when I hit the bell or hit the bottle, it's going to make a sharp tin-like sound, just like a bell. Let's listen. You can try hitting the bell in other ways. Let's see if we hit it on the bottom. We get lots of different sounds just with this one household instrument. So that is one way that we can create a bell. Another way we can create a bell is we have any kind of glass cup, which we can either keep completely empty like this one is, or we can fill it up with a little bit of water. So I have a little bit of my leftover water in here. Again, you should take a plastic or yeah, just a plastic one this time, a plastic pencil or pen. And you're going to, this time, leave the cup down on the table instead of holding it in your hand because it'll allow the cup to vibrate more. So I'm going to pull this down a little bit so you can maybe see my cup. Yes, you can see my cup here. Okay, so I'm going to click. Now you notice when I am playing this, I am not hitting it. I'm not putting any energy. I am letting the gravity take the item, the pencil, and letting gravity hit. This is actually how real drummers work. It takes so much energy to lift and throw down your drum stick. It's so much easier to just let gravity do most of the work. So if you take this same cup that has water in it and you pour the water out and you try again, depending on the size of your cup and how much water was in it, you might hear a different sound. The level of water and the size of the cup has to do with what kind of sound you get. But again, it's this melodic bell-like sound. So those are two ways that I've thought of that we can create bells out of household items. Now I'd like to pause and see if you have any ideas on other household items that could be used to make a bell sound. So let's pause the video now and let's talk about your ideas. Okay, now we are going to talk about some different ways we can make a drum from household items. The first idea that I had would be to take that same pen or pencil and play it on a wooden table or desk. Again, instead of really hitting with the pencil, you don't really need to put that much energy into it. Let gravity do the work. So let's put this down so you can see my desk. You can take the pencil and let gravity do its work. If you have two pencils, you can try different rhythms. So that is one way we can make a drum sound. Another way we can make a drum sound is using your fingers and hands on a wooden surface. So we've got my hands and my fingers, even my fists that can be used on this wooden surface. Let's try fingers first. Let's try hands. Let's try fists. All right, I'm not putting too much energy. Again, I'm letting gravity drop my wrists. I'm just picking up my hands. The only one that I put any energy into is my fingers. All right, so that's the second way that we can create a drum. The third way to create a drum would be to use your hands and the rest of your body to create body percussion. So let's see, how are some different ways we can create body percussion? We can clap. If you don't have gloves on, it'll sound a lot better. You can snap. You can use your table. You can use your legs or your arms instead of a table. You can use your head. You can use your chest. Lots of different ways that you can make drum sounds using all different parts of your body as well. So now I would love to hear your ideas on how else we can make drum sounds. Is there anything else that we can do to get that rhythmic sound, but without a tone? That means there's no actual pitch that's with it. Like a bell is going to have a ding. You can sing that. You can't really sing. There's no way to sing that. So that's what makes a difference between melodic, you can sing it, and rhythmic, you can't sing it. You can say it, ta, that's a rhythm, but you can't sing it. So let's go ahead and hear your ideas. Okay, friends. So now that we've learned how to create our bells and our drums, we can talk a little bit about next week's performance. So next week, we're going to meet on Zoom. Please have your cameras on and your microphones are going to stay off. Before class, please select your instrument and gather your materials. So if you're going to use a water bottle and a pen or a pencil, make sure you have those with you at the start of class. Remember, especially if you are using any kind of glass materials, to always be safe. Safety first. Have your parents help you with gathering those materials. And make sure you never, ever, ever take your glass cup and smack it hard with any object, but especially not with any hard object like a metal straw. It's going to damage the glass and it could break and it could hurt you. So we're going to avoid hitting the glass hard and we're going to avoid using really, really hard objects to hit the glass as well. If you're using a plastic pencil and you're just letting gravity do the work and not actually hitting, you should be fine. But please do have a parent assist you. Next, this is going to be recorded, and it's only going to be recorded to be shared with your family and with your teacher. So, holiday attire is optional. You may dress up in holiday attire, but the focus is really going to be on your instrument, not so much on your face or what you're wearing. So it's completely optional. If you forget to do it, or if you don't have the means to do it, that is okay. I'm just telling you it is an option if you'd like to have some holiday attire going on while we make this recording. So that is it for today. If we have a little bit of extra time, we are going to give it a try, one run through. So gather your materials if we have time, and then we'll be ready for next week. So thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see what happens.